Fox News fired Tucker Carlson. It seems like it might have been Rupert Murdoch just not liking how religious Tucker Carlson pretends to be sometimes, which is really funny. Tucker Carlson apparently has an Oppo file held by Fox News corporate executives that they will release if he badmouths his former employers. So I don't expect him to go after Fox in any fashion in this video. It's 2 minutes and 16 seconds. You know, he's giving the face right away.
Good evening, it's Tucker Carlson.
It's not a good evening. It's the afternoon, you fucking idiot. Already I'm winning this debate.
One of the first things you realize when you step outside the noise for a few days is how many genuinely nice people there are in this country. Kind and decent people, people who really care about what's true. And
That's true. I do agree with that. It is kind of crazy that you can just go down to the South, the American South, and just chat with people and have a really good time talking to them. And you know for a fact that these guys are voting for candidates that will have you killed, you know? But still, that's how it is.
a bunch of hilarious people also. A lot of those. It's got to be the majority of the population, even now. So that's heartening. The other thing you notice when you take a little time off is how unbelievably stupid most of the debates you see on television are. They're completely irrelevant. They mean nothing.
Yeah. Like the M&M packaging or like everything you've ever talked about. I agree. Yeah. That's pretty true. Yeah. Non-stop bullshit. Yeah, the Bud Light thing. Yeah. Your entire career.
In 5 years, we won't even remember that we had them. Trust me, as someone who's participated.
Yeah, we know. Your whole job. It's your main thing. Okay. Don't forget the Hershey's. How could I forget the Hershey's?
And yet at the same time, and this is the amazing thing, the undeniably big topics, the ones that will define our future, get virtually no discussion at all.
That is not true. Obviously, we're not really having mainstream capitalism versus socialism debates, but there's plenty of discussion of like pivotal issues like immigration, economic stuff, tax rate. Yeah, I don't know what he's vague posting here. Tactical vague posting is a great way for fascists to signal that what they really mean is racial change, like racial differences, without them actually meaning it. You know what I mean?
War, civil liberty.
We don't talk about war? Okay. I think we talk about civil liberties too. We talk about you trying to take them away. Yeah.
Emerging science.
I agree we could do to talk about emerging science more often.
Demographic change.
Oh, okay. Sorry. My camera has a little lizard on it. I knocked it off. There we go. Back to your perch. Well, that was quick.
Corporate power, natural resources.
I think we talk about all of these things, some of which we probably shouldn't be caring as much about as we do, like demographic change. Me when Vaush stops the video every half second. Yeah, it's just they densely pack the bullshit so thick, especially during like lists, right? But I'm glad I stopped at like demographic change.
When was the last time you heard a legitimate debate about any of those issues?
Well, over on youtube.com/Vaush, you can get quality content. Nah, I don't do debates anymore. I want to do more debates. It's really difficult to find good ones. The funny thing is that Tucker Carlson actually used to have dissenting voices on all the time, and as time went on, he just stopped doing it. Like, as time went on, like years ago, he had so many people come on to argue with him, and then he just stopped having them. So, like, I agree we could do to talk about these issues more often. But I think I've had enough debates on demographic change, you know? It's seriously, I've talked to like 24 Nazis on the subject, and I haven't gotten a single one to defeat even my basic counter-arguments. It's really frustrating because I have two levels of counter-arguments here, right? Like, when they're being racist, I have like the tier 1 stuff, which is like, okay, well, what's wrong with demographic change? Why does this country only belong to white people? What about this? What about that? Why do you think there's not a precedent for this? Why do you think like this? But like, if they can counter those arguments, which they never have, I have a second secret layer of debate tactics, which is basically just I did a lot of research on history and like race and IQ and demographic politics. But I'm never going to get to bring it up because they're fucking retarded. Yeah, you can't reason with gut hatred. They're too stupid to even get to like the underlying research. It's like basic. Like I have people on here. Do you guys remember that one guy that I talked to from like the Discord call-in or Discord Q&A or something? Where he was like, yeah, I don't like demographic change. I was like, okay, well, why? And he was like, well, you've got a good point. Did that happen? I feel like I remember this happening. The spirit of that has happened.
It's been a long time. Debates like that are not permitted in American media.
They are. Now we're doing the vague conspiracy posting.
Both political parties and their donors have reached consensus on what benefits them, and they actively collude to shut down any conversation about it.
So the only subject on which this is actually true would probably be corporate power and capitalism. This is like JQ signaling, the idea that there's like a nefarious greater power that's censoring good, honest white men like Tucker Carlson talking about real issues like demographic change. But in reality, the only issue that's like fully outside the Overton window right now is probably just like elements of corporate power, And a lot of it has to do with like capitalist realism as well, because even if you had a debate on capitalism versus socialism, most Americans don't have the vocabulary to even understand what's at stake, right? I mean, imagine having a conversation on a national stage and expecting the average American to keep up with like surplus value. We're not educated enough to even understand what we've lost.
Suddenly, the United States looks very much like a one-party state.
In a corporatocracy sense, I think there's some truth to that. Outside of that, no.
That's a depressing realization, but it's not permanent. Our current orthodoxies won't last. They're brain dead. Nobody actually believes them.
Notice, again, we defer to conspiracism, how he refers to orthodoxies in a vague way. He's not, like, specifying what he's actually talking about. The reason for that is, again, because this is the same Tucker Carlson that it has always been. It's the same, like, be tactically vague so the most fascist constituency that you have can fill in their fascism, and the more moderate conservatives don't read into it as much, He's not actually saying anything. I can hear Shu coming all over this video. Oh my God, you're right.
Hardly anyone's life is improved by them. This moment is too inherently ridiculous to continue, and so it won't. The people in charge know this. That's why they're hysterical and aggressive. They're afraid. They've given up persuasion. They're resorting to force.
It is so funny that he would say this. They're afraid of persuasion. They've resorted to force. When at the Heritage Foundation meeting that led Rupert Murdoch to fire Tucker Carlson, he was talking about how our enemies are beyond reason and we need force now, not persuasion. He literally said that in the Heritage Foundation speech that he gave that led to him being fired, where he said the literal exact diametric opposite. He doesn't believe anything. He doesn't believe anything. He does not believe anything. He is empty in a suit. That's it. He doesn't believe any of the stuff that he's saying. He is just carefully cultivating this to... Well, I assume he's going to make his own program now, right? Like the way he's talking. So he's going to try... I'm just guessing from what he's said. But he's probably going to try to redo like a Crossfire kind of thing. Maybe with more of a pretense of professionalism. Here are like big, high stakes, high profile, big idea debates that we're going to have. Whether or not he's going to have like actual ideological diversity on the program, or whether he's going to, just have yes men on, I can't really say.
But it won't work. When honest people say what's true,
it's okay, Ramsey,
calmly and without embarrassment, they become powerful. At the same time, the liars who've been trying to silence them shrink, and they become weaker.
Vague, vague, vague. This is how, again, you can tell when a person doesn't believe in anything. If a socialist news host got fired randomly from their job and wanted to create their own platform, they would be specific in what values they wanted to promote with their future projects. They would not go, the orthodoxy is full of people who don't believe the system, but we can defeat it by speaking truth. and the truth we speak to big ideas. Well, no, they would be like, yeah, we want to challenge corporate power. We want to do this. We want to do that. Like, we're here to talk about these issues because we care about them. This affected neutrality is just a way for fascists to keep it close to the vest. But, you know, honest to God, I don't even know if Tucker Carlson's a fascist. Ideologically, I mean. He says fascism. He does fascism in his own head. I don't know if he believes anything. I think he's an empty suit, you know.
That's the iron law of the universe. True things prevail.
That is absolutely not the iron law of the universe.
Where can you still find Americans saying true things? There aren't many places left, but there are some, and that's enough. As long as you can hear the words.
It's like nothing. I can't believe people think that this guy is some kind of like truth. Listen to how vapid this statement is. Like, it's unbelievable how it's like a joke. Like an SNL writer would write this to make fun of like a hippy dippy kind of like woo-woo spiritualism person.
True things. There aren't many places left, but there are some, and that's enough. As long as you can hear the words, there is hope.
Oh my God.
See you soon.
Oh my God. It's so dumb. Well, whatever he does next, it probably won't have anywhere near as much of a platform as the Fox News platform he had previously. We'll see how things go. So did that mean anything? It means he's going to make his own show. It doesn't mean anything else. This whole video is basically him admitting he was a lying grifter during his whole career with Fox. That's true. He is literally like, yeah, I have participated in decades of vapid, dishonest discourse, and now I'm going to make my own platform where I won't do that.